Hello, 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 and welcome to the coronavirus version, protection safety version of the Q&A with Alan and Marshall episode. And Alan's supposed to turn off his sound.
Every week. Now it's like a thing, so I can't do it.
Yeah, so I want to give a huge shout out to Ryan Moore with Almay for sending me an all mask. And he knows I'm a Florida State fan, so I got a garnet colored one. So huge thumb up there for that. So thank you so much for that. And let me tell you, this is a pretty comfortable mask. And the only thing is my glasses keep fogging up. Alan, do you know how to prevent that from happening?
I'm sorry, I can't see you. So I have an Almay mask also. I'm actually going to, in a way, take it off. When I wear it to the grocery store, it fogs my glasses. So, I am old. I don't care anymore. So I actually flip my glasses up and I flip them down when I need to read something. I don't know how to keep it.
That's a good thing. See if I can do that.
We look a little stupid, but yeah.
I look stupid anyway.
Yeah. But now when I do it here, you can see the LED lights in my that I have in my glasses. That's the white ring.
Right.
So mine's an Almay mask. I actually got some from Ryan. He was very gracious. He sent some to me. And he also sent some down to Florida at my request to my parents down there.
Oh, that's great.
And my mom hates her picture taken. My mom is a very nice looking lady. Always has been. And even, but now if you talk to her, she thinks she looks like bearded goat woman.
All right.
But her and my stepdad took a picture of themselves in the Almay mask.
Right.
Sent it to me, and this is coming off.
So Mike says they say wash your glasses with shaving cream to prevent the fogging. So I guess I'll have to try that. And then his other comment, I think, is because we are in the branding business, is why don't we have the logos on the masks? Hey, that's a great comment. The reason why is because I just got this like a couple days ago. So I'm happy to get it. So I just wanted to do that. But you're right. We should have a logo on these. And that's something to come, probably.
I don't know anybody that does them. Do you, Marshall? Who puts logos on stuff?
I don't know. Is anybody out there? Hey, can you help a brother out?
Print one.
All right. So anyway, so let's get going with today's stuff. So we got a bunch of people are already watching. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. This show is for you. It's Q&A. Again, we need your questions, right? And hopefully we'll have answers, but we need your questions. Please, please, please don't just sit there and watch. Leave a comment. We want to know where you're from, what's going on, and also we want your questions. So please reach out, type it in, and that way we can, make this show happen, right? It's all about questions and answers. So
I think, Marshall, we did give a shout out now. I don't know if you saw this morning, the Two Regular Guys podcast put an advertisement out. This is almost like Information Friday now. Yeah. And of course they said, here it is at 11 o'clock Eastern time, Two Regular Guys at 12 o'clock Q&A with Alan and Marshall. And then later in the day, the Takeout with Eric Campbell. So shout out to all those guys. Thank you very much. This isn't a competition. It's all about the same goal, wanting to help the industry. How can we just stay together as a community and help each other?
Right. I think it's wonderful. And at times like these, remember, we want to be leading with empathy. So anybody watching, right? How are you supporting your community? Maybe you could do something like this where you're not interviewing, the t-shirt industry. Maybe you're interviewing the guy that owns that bar, that restaurant, or that supply store, or the whatever, interviewing your customers about what's going on.
Yep.
Trust me, if two knuckleheads like us can do this, you can do it, right? It's not that difficult. So, all right. So, we got a customer. Here we go.
Yeah, I just
David. Oh, look at that mask, man!
That is great.
can you help us educate our customers on what cloth masks do, block airflow speed, and don't do, filter, protect the wearer? And then he gives a link. Okay, we're not going to click the link, but thank you so much for David. So I think the thing to do here is to give a demonstration, right? So have a one-page PDF where you can do some graphics and you can write it. Maybe you could also do a video where you're wearing the mask. What can you do? I've seen videos where they have somebody holding up the mask and they're using a spray bottle to shoot stuff through it. And you can see some stuff goes through, some stuff don't. They have also seen a video. Have you seen this, Alan, where they use a candle, right? Can you blow the candle out or not?
I have not seen that. So very interesting.
Yeah, so just thinking about what you can do. And remember, what we want to do with anything is make it easy for people to understand stuff. It's up to us to educate our customers. So that's a really great question. And I am not a mask expert by any means. Before the show, you should see me trying to put this thing on. I had it on upside down, so I just don't go anywhere. I don't wear them. So I think right now it's up to everybody to educate your customers about what you're doing, specifically about the mask that you're trying to market.
I think on the mask too, I'm not a mask expert. I've read some stuff. I do run in that industrial printing realm a little bit too because of my job. And Ray Greenwood and I were talking, about masks and even N95s and what they do, what they don't do.
Right.
And I think we have to remember of what they are and what they do. Like, I know Vapor Apparel has neck gaiters. It's one right here. I have one. Neck gaiters are not new. These have been around. I use them for fishing. I've been to Costa Rica and all that, and they block sun. I think they're great. Are they better than a cloth mask? I don't know. Right. But we have to remember what they do. They are keeping us from getting stuff on, mostly liquid particles on someone else and vice versa.
Right.
Viruses can slip right through them. And in N95 mask, a virus can slip right through it. So it's not 100%. It's more of how they're going, what's going through any droplets and stuff.
Yeah.
So we just have to remember what they are and what they aren't.
Well, I think the thing to think about here is what this is for is to prevent you from spreading a problem, right? Yeah. It isn't about you getting it, right? And also, if you really look at the medical community, remember, we're all about processes and procedures. They have an exact way to put on a mask and take it off without contaminating yourself. And I see a lot of people like fiddling around with their nose and are constantly touching their face. You just infected yourself, right?
Yeah.
So it's just how you're putting these things on and taking them off, I think really matters also. So just keep that in mind. And
that
so
was actually
David, he says that he made the mask in a shop and that where's the other thing? It was
DTG cut and sell.
DTG cut and sell, right? So that's how he's doing it. Very, very curious about that process. So if you've got a DTG, in your shop, if you tried to make one of these, how difficult was it? Maybe if you're stuck, maybe David can help you. So, all right. So Jonathan says, how are you marketing your masks? Facebook declines my ads. And I believe Facebook has a policy about promoting medical things.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the thing isn't more Facebook, maybe it's other social media. There's different account, Instagram, whatever. Also pay-per-click, Google AdWords. Jonathan, you do a lot of really great things. I'm sure you've tried those things out. Maybe writing a blog article about health and safety, and then in the blog article promoting the mask. Maybe that can get around that, because I write content all the time and Facebook hasn't blocked me. So
yeah, I think we have to remember too that marketing, there is more to marketing than just Facebook, no matter what this situation is or what the market is. Facebook is not the end all be all of marketing. So you have to think outside the box, pivot. And if you're relied just on one thing with anything, then that's a problem. because
Right.
if there's a problem with that, then yeah.
Charles says you have to mask the mask sale. Very punny, Charles. We made some silly, catchy graphics and don't say anything about face masks and just show the graphic and say, get yours with the website address. Facebook doesn't flag the ad this way. Hey, that's a great tip, Charles. Thank you for sharing. Maybe JT, that'll help you. So try that out and then report back the results. We'd love to find out how that works. Maybe see what Charles does and do some R&D. And if you remember what Jay Bassell said at Shirt Lab, R&D doesn't stand for research and development. It stands for rip off and duplicate. So don't plagiarize what he's doing. Use it as an inspiration for how to do it for yourself.
Right. Charles is really, man, I met Charles last year, I think, only at SGIA last year for the first time. And what a great guy.
And Jonathan says he got his account banned.
I hate when that happens. Facebook jail.
I've been in Facebook jail before also, by the way. When I was, a couple of years ago, I was marketing my blog pretty heavily in all the groups. And Facebook decided, you know what, we don't like that. And so they suspended my account for 3 days. Yeah. And so I quit doing that, and I only market my blog on my own page. And that actually has done a lot better because it's driving more traffic to me rather than the group. So
yeah, absolutely. It's almost a badge of honor to be put in Facebook jail anymore. I've never been, but
you've been in jail? Facebook jail?
I've never been in Facebook jail, but maybe I should.
Hey, Kitson says white masks are easier to decorate, but after a couple uses may show stains that perceived as dirty.
Dirty mask. Right. We don't want
dirty mask. We don't want that.
That's right.
So, all right. So we have some pre-recorded kind of things we want to talk about here. And the first question today is, hey, listeners, people out there right now, are you back and working? We want to know, are you full tilt bozo, the whole crew? Are you half staff? What are you doing? How are you doing it? Last Saturday, I posted an article about bringing your crew back and about thinking about health and safety measures. And I want to share a 1-minute video that Monica with Liberty Screen Print sent me about what they're doing. And then maybe this can help you. And bear with me because I'm not sure I can work the tech here. So hopefully I can. So let's do this.
It worked before we came online. So
yeah, we practiced. Here we go. And let's see here. So watch this. I love the shrink wrap barrier.
Yeah. I think that's ingenious, though.
Yeah, so PVC pipe and shrink wrap, what do they got, about $3 in that?
At least $3. Maybe $4. They got the good shrink wrap.
All right, we're about halfway. All right. There you go. So I thought that was just really great. Thank you so much to Monica and everybody at Liberty Screen Print in Beacon Falls, Connecticut for sharing that video with me. I love it when I get feedback on the stuff that I write because sometimes I feel like I generate this content and just it goes out over the cliff and I don't know if it makes its mark. But I got a lot of traction out of that last article.
The Shirt Lab Summit. I'm here with Ron Winters, the founder and
hold on.
director.
What's going on with that?
Not you.
Hey, that was my mistake. So guess what? Vimeo automatically played the next video. And guess what that was? That was Tom and Ron Winters for our Shirt Lab Summit, which is, hey, interesting segue. It's going to be June 1st to the 3rd. Please sign up at shirtlabsummit.com.
I love it.
Sorry for that. Anyway,
We've had a couple people post on what they're doing and
okay,
how things are.
let's get to some of these. So, what Cora says, artwork projects have increased this week. That's great. David says 75% furloughed, 25% in making masks, printing masks. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Peter with M&R says still shut down in Illinois.
Not happy. Not good.
Right. David also says posted a letter about OSHA requirements and safe essential business working environments, mask worn, hand washing, 6-foot distance. That's really great. Good job with that. Your company says, you may have touched on this last week, but for printers, when do you think you feel comfortable allowing manufacturers reps back in your shops for visits?
That is their way of saying, Alan, get out of your office, go see somebody and sell something. No.
Yes. Hey, will you start selling, will you?
I'm trying, guys.
Right. Monica says, when your guru shows your video life goals, thank you so much, Monica. You rock. She's awesome. I don't know if you've met Monica, but she's just fantastic. And she's really got a lot of great things going on there. John says, we brought full staff back Monday.
Way to go. John, where are you located at, John?
Yes, share some deets. We want to know what's up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because I really think that this is more geography based. So if your state's still in lockdown, like you might be underground printing where nobody knows what you're doing. But also it could be, do you have the work? What work are you doing? Are you in mass? And then also your customer niche, right? Are you full retail? Are you a contract printer? Do you do embroidery? DTG? I mean, I think it really matters, all those kind of details. Yeah. It'd be very interesting to compare and contrast. So please, please, please share what's going on so we can kind of get a kind of an overview. Mm-hmm. You know what you do? Just stream of consciousness thought is we should have done a survey, right? A poll, right?
We should have.
Maybe we'll figure out how to do that for next time.
We're new. Absolutely. On the rep thing, Marshall, I don't know. I think that's going to depend on states and clients because while some people are open, I'm not sure shops are actually seeing anybody right now, whether it be in the garment, whether it be in, the industrial. Now, I actually went to a client I talked to on the phone over products, stuff they're testing in the industrial sector. They're about 40 minutes north of me.
Right.
And I did defy the stay at home. And I actually had a couple things. I had to send some SDS to them. Their safety department approved it. And they actually have, like, for anything left, they're not letting anybody in, but they have a box out in their lobby. So I put a little note, my card, what the stuff was, who it's for, and left it there, and they got it. So
okay,
I'm there, I'm in and out.
Right.
So I think a lot of it comes on, one, what's the state going to do? Two, when will you start receiving people also?
Right.
Because there's twofold on that.
And do you have a process? In Facebook, Greg Kitson posted his counter, like when you walk in a shop with hand sanitizer and wipes and all this other stuff. And so do you have a process in your building for what you're going to do? Like, for example, we may at one point had shop tours and you can go pick up your stuff and receiving. Right now, I would say limit the area that your customers are walking around in, and that way you limit what you have to clean later or exposure, right? So that's some things. John Fine says he's in Massachusetts. Keith, hey, thank you so much for watching on Thursday, by the way. Still open slow, team laid off, but we're getting some work and working on the showroom and making gator style masks, sublimation cut and sew. Good. That's great. Monica goes, go John. Great. They're fellow New Englanders, right? Mm-hmm. Some of my employees have been home alone for weeks. Sound like they have Stockholm syndrome. They're scared and freaking out. Have me worried. Be ready for some of your team to refuse to come back to work for a while, and be careful how you handle that in terms of employment law.
Yeah.
Okay. Point. So here's the thing. So as your employer, right, are you reaching out to them, phone calls, creating a video. I was talking with one of my coaching clients earlier this week about just creating a simple 1 or 2 minute video to your employees talking about how much you miss them, blah, 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 blah. Just having something fun and engaging and sending it out to everybody who's at home. And that way you're creating something and you're doing something because it's the human to human kind of a thing. And a great tool for that I use all the time is called Soapbox, by the way. So just give that a shout out.
You know, Marshall, I think too, on receiving people, whether it's a rep or a salesperson or even your shop, and a lot of, like I said, in the industrial sector, a lot of times I'll go to a shop and they will have, do you have safety glasses with you? Well, I carry some with me, but if you don't, they have them. Do you got to have earplugs because of what their shop policy is? And what do you think? Maybe we, in this next normal deal, do you have a policy in your shop for having people in? Do you have the hand sanitizer? Do they have, and we still have the thing up, do you have a mask, a neck gaiter,
right,
a head gaiter, something like that? You don't
want to be John Pence.
Right, exactly. You need to have that stuff, I think, as a rep, or, do you have that policy on there? Marshall, you still have the thing up on.
So John says we're manufacturing cut and sew. Right now, it's 90% of business. He got the loan. He's bringing everyone back, putting people to different areas and cross-training. We've seen regular screen print embroidery business requires increase in the past few days. That's excellent. And our good buddy Ron, with everything's life is good up there. It's always good working for Ron Goodwin. CEO printing, packing, and shipping face masks while taking orders. Employees are sheltering in place. Shop locked to customers. That's what's going on there.
And I think that's happening a lot. When you're the owner of a customer, you might have had printers and production managers. I've talked to a lot of shops. You know what? Our people aren't back yet, but they're in there printing. And, for the business they have to do it.
Yeah. All right. So where are we on time? All right. So our next thing we want to talk about is this. What is your number one problem? Right. So what are you really struggling with right now? Is it getting a grasp on it? Is it getting some money? Is it marketing? Is it just thinking through this thing? We want to know what your number one problem is, obviously, so we can help you answer that. Right. So if you're watching right now, please put that in the comments section and let's see if we can start tackling what people's number one problems are. Right. So, and here you go. His number one problem is me. So, hey, what are you going to do about that, Ron?
Sounds like an HR problem, Ron.
Yeah. So David says lack of cash flow and probably depressed cash flow when the economy reopens slowly. Okay. So this is going to be a big issue that we're going to have. So a really great way to think about this, I think, is to chart out some ideas for yourself, right? So what I'm thinking about here is a process with triggers. So think about good, better, best, or sucky, middle of the road, what could be awesome, right? And then kind of chart out what might happen and how you're going to react to it, right? And thinking things through. So today's May 1st, right? Mayday, 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 right? What are we doing for the end of the month or into June? Let's look 4 to 8 weeks out. What are some different scenarios that you could be planning on and what's going to happen? And then how can you wrestle this to the ground and take advantage of that? Are you building out marketing? Are you building out how you're doing things with employees? What are you doing? Are you contacting your customers? If you are, who are you calling? Have you done your 80-20 analysis where your top 20% of your customers give you 80% of your business? So are you in touch with these 20% customers? If they're not valid anymore, who could be? Yeah. Right? This is the work that we need to be doing right now. And I think there's a really great quote by Jim Mattis, which is planning is, what is it? I forgot the quote. Oh, crap. So planning is anticipatory decision making, right? So what are we doing right now to be thinking through this problem for the next 4 to 8 weeks, and then coming up with some different scenarios for ourselves, and then working through that challenge. Monica says, we have 3/4 of the staff back. A couple are immune compromised, so they return when they feel safe and comfortable. Since we announced to our clients that we are back, orders have been coming in slowly but steadily, and we're all pretty much contract. Wes has been doing a ton of masks and have 2 designs out for sampling on new mask models. Connecticut is still locked down, but things are starting to roll in, so I take that as a positive sign.
That's awesome.
That's really great. So what can we do right now? Can we 10X what we're doing?
Yep.
So you get what's the next step? So you get your masks approved, right? Do you have a plan in place right now for what that happens? Right? And so you're getting customers are starting to send orders back, right? Are you sending handwritten notes to them, thanking them for their business? Are you getting them to do Google referrals for you and testimonials? Can they film when they open the box? Oh my God, look how great these look. And you're sharing that on Facebook, right? What are your ideas to kind of blast out what you're doing? So take advantage of this right now. And what we want to do is build out that process, right?
On their shirt order, are you throwing a couple masks in there saying, hey, just for your protection, or just use, on there? I think things like that just go a long way.
Right. All right. Here's Cora's number one problem. Husband constantly interrupting me while I'm online learning. Hey, Cora, does your door have a lock?
The big thing I've seen on Facebook is, what? He could be buried in the backyard and it's listed as a corona. Now, that's not smart. Leave her alone. Let her learn.
That's right. Nobody's really doing statistics, right? We don't have testing.
Nope.
Although I heard in California, any citizen in California can right now get a test. I read something online. I think
you can in Michigan too.
Anybody. So that's the level they are in California. I don't know about your state, but that's what they're doing there. Just very interesting.
I was talking to one of my suppliers. He's going to go get a test because he believes, like a lot of people, he thinks he might have had it in January.
Yeah,
so
right.
He's going to go test and see. Quest Diagnostics has it. His health insurance covers it. So he's going to do it. There's a couple other things. So, yeah. It's just getting to be where I'm not sure the information we get through media is, you've got to weed through it somewhere in there. There's a thread of truth. So, but yeah.
I'm limiting what I'm doing on Facebook and also on with TV, just because I don't think my soul can take it. Right?
Oh, it's exactly it. Yeah.
So I watch a little bit just to see what crazy thing happened today, and that's about it. And then Facebook for me it's a 10-minute hit and run accident. It's like I'm really kind of limiting that because I see a lot of craziness, but I need to be on there because I want to keep abreast of what everybody's doing. But I'm not on there like I used to be, just because I really need to be focusing on other things, and my own personal well-being is one of them. So,
and, I'm the same way. Last night I was watching stuff. Of course, I live in Michigan, where it's a freaking disaster area, self-imposed by some of our government, I think. But it's just unreal. And
let's not get political.
No, but it's just it is. I mean, both sides are just on there. It's just becoming a disaster. And I watched this stuff, and last night I was so mad. And even this morning, talking to a buddy of mine in Ohio and going, I got to just stop.
Right.
And because it is, like you said, it's just not good for the soul. And realize the sun's shining, the grass is growing. It's nice here in Michigan. I'm going to get outside. I'm going to go for a walk, clear my head, and we're going to move forward.
Yeah. Cora says, no locks, I have a lake. Right? So
better.
We've all seen Godfather 3, Cora.
2 that was.
Yeah, Fredo, what happened to that guy?
Fredo. Right? Went fishing. Yeah, absolutely.
The grind never stops. You should be doing what you always should be doing. Very interesting. Yesterday I did a Facebook Live with Lori Feldman, And with the Database Diva, she actually has spoken at Shirt Lab before, and she's incredible. And one of the questions I asked her, and you can watch the video, it's on this Atkinson Consulting Facebook page. One of the questions I asked her is like, emerging from the coronavirus pandemic, what should you be doing differently with your marketing? And her response is, if you're doing it right, nothing should change.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Right. So that I thought that was a very interesting answer. It wouldn't have been what I had guessed. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was thinking it would be, you got to do this new thing and whatever. Her response is, you should be constantly putting stuff out there. Right.
Yep.
So
see what Ron Goodwin put above Cal's post?
No, but here you go. Got you to the laugh. My day is complete. I hear a lot of times are changing. Guess what, Sparky? Time have always been changing, and they always will.
Absolutely.
Right.
I don't know. I think that quote, times have always been changing and always will. That's something we need to remember. And Ron Goodwin just called us Sparky. I don't know what's more funny, but more proven, but yeah.
Right.
So
you're Sparky.
That's you. I think he called you Sparky.
Yeah. So David says, thinking forward, will prolonged stay-at-home change our customer behavior long-term? More e-commerce? Do we need to be pivoting now to be ready for the future? And I'm going to answer this right now. And the answer is wholeheartedly yes.
Absolutely.
Customer behaviors have changed. People are working from home. People have realized I can get stuff without going to a store. Let me tell you, I buy online exclusively, right? I like, that's how I buy, because I'm a guy and I want easy and frictionless. Why do I need to go to a store when I can just click, right? And this is what's going to happen. Schools are changing, events are changing. There's going to be a lot more with content coming online. People are like me, like Alan. We're learning how to do video.
Yeah.
Right? Stuff is changing, and it's going to be evolving as people use new things and new technology. How are you taking advantage of that? I would be planning right now on things changing, right? So we but plan for the worst, hope for the best, right? We know that things are changing. I would be asking your customers, how are they doing? What are they doing? What do they see? Do a poll.
Yeah.
Right. I use an app called Typeform for surveys and stuff. There's another one called Jotform. Both of those work really great for that. So send that to your customers and ask them, hey, what are you doing? How are you doing? How do you like, make it 2 or 3 questions? Don't make it crazy, and get the feedback from them.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, I also think, Marshall, too, things I hear, like you said, all bets are off on there, in the market. Sometimes we assume, well, this customer always did this. No. Just reach back out to them. All bets are off. It's a whole different world now, and all bets are off. And I'm actually bringing that up. I'm talking to clients. We've talked about doing something, and I'm just going, I just wanted to reach out because, everything's on the table now. And their answer is, you're right, it is. It's all new. So yeah, what happened in the past, ignore it. Just go back, reach out to them, and let's go.
So Alan, Eric Campbell, now our producer, just like 2 regular guys, has sent the video for the thing I did with Lori. Thank you so much, Eric. You're a rock star, dude.
The embroidery whisper, he is.
Yeah.
Man, in the embroidery world, I don't know if you saw on 2 regular guys, Christine Shreve just announced her Christine Shreve Consulting right in Traverse City, Michigan. Man, we got some incredible embroidery talent in our industry with Eric Campbell and Christine Shreve. So
yeah, Christine is awesome. She does a women in industry group and podcast. It's great.
Absolutely.
She's also going to be speaking at Shirt Lab Chicago. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you haven't seen it, because we haven't really announced it much, but we've moved both of our Shirt Lab events to next year. Shirt Lab Dallas is now going to be the 19th and 20th of March, and still in Dallas. And Shirt Lab Chicago is going to be June the 5th, both of next year. And Christine will be speaking at the Women's Nexus, which is going to be in June of next year. So she's great.
And even though things have moved, you got some great things coming up, and I know you'll be announcing for Shirt Lab. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. So Eric goes, those among us who continue to tell our stories and make use of the technology will be hitting the ground running for sure. So
very good.
So if you're watching this either live or, recorded later, right? How are you using technology to tell either your story or better is your employee's story? Because remember, those of us who's read Story Brand, hint, Alan, know that your customer is the hero here, right? Yep. We need to be reaching out to them, telling their story, showing their success, that kind of stuff. That is going to get you further down the line than if you just constantly, it's me, right?
Yeah. I know an easy way. We've just started, we got an email yesterday, and I know, our management team are pivoting through all this. They're great. Not because I know they're listening to, which they are. They're amazing. Love you guys.
Suck up.
Definitely sucking up in this time. But, they've had us all, start videotaping, or not videotaping. I just dated myself. Doing a video of just common things we do every morning and stuff. They're going to get us better known with our clients in the industry. And some of the guys, are like, I talked to one, actually Rick Christensen, who lives in New Hampshire. This morning, he did his first one. It was great. It's awesome. Yeah. Rick's a great guy. He's not one that likes to be in the spotlight, but I think it's a great move. I'm glad I'm with a company that's going, okay, we got to start doing this. And going well. So,
will that be available in VHS?
In a beta. So it'll be in beta. So.
Okay. So I think our next little segment here is something I think that's going to be interesting is what if you change your perspective, right? And so what I mean by this is right now, I think we're really focused on what we're doing, and we're opening up our shop, or we're trying to use the technology, and we're doing all this kind of, we're focused on us, right? Mm-hmm. I want you to be thinking about your customers or your potential customers' perspective, right? What are they going through? How are they handling things? And I think David's question earlier about, what's going to happen with our customers, right, is really a perspective challenge here. So let's do some thinking, let's do some mental modeling about perspective. So, and I want you to think about your customers viewing you from the lens of over there to you. So what are they seeing, right? Are they seeing safety? Are they seeing health? Are they seeing that you're open for business? What is that noise? What are they seeing, right? So it's like one of these things where I think that's going to be a very interesting thing. And so if you can understand that, right, then we can market to that.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Right
the
there.
New normal is going to be not normal, right? I've actually been using the term next normal.
I saw that. I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and it goes back to Ron says, things are always changing. There's always a new normal. There's always the next normal. And we have to start preparing for that and thinking in those realms of what's going on now, what's going to be new, what's going to be next, in those situations. So absolutely.
So for you guys watching right now, right, leave a comment about what you think your customer niche, whatever you do, what do you think their perspective is in looking at your business?
Yep.
Right. Just share a sentence or two about what you feel they are doing or they're going to be thinking about and that kind of stuff. What's your first thought? Don't overthink it. Just write something. Right.
I think too, I'd like to hear what people are thinking in their own shops. How are they streamlining? What's going to be the next normal in their production when they get up and going? Are you going to have the same amount of people? Are you going to have to invest in technology and start looking? What are your processes you're looking to change going, I need to be more efficient here because now's the time to do it?
Yeah, I think a lot of shops are going to find out that they can operate leaner than they were before. And if they're bringing employees back, are you bringing every single person that worked for you? Because my guess is that you've got a handful of people who really weren't rock stars anyway, and they were just there, right?
Right.
Do you need to bring everybody back, or can you be pickier?
One of the clients, and I'm not going to say who they are, I was talking to them. It's just the owners in there printing. And they do a lot of jerseys, a lot of sports, a lot of things like that for teams. And they have tried to get their team to really start embracing the silicone ink. They just never did. They've always had some issues and their reject rate was up. So now that the owners are there, they brought out the silicone. They've become rock stars on it. And they said, here's going to be the new normal when everybody gets back.
Oh, that's interesting. I love it.
Here it is. Bam.
So did they document the process?
I'll have to ask them. I think they should, because the ink also too, because they asked me about the ink. It's a good one, but they had the samples and stuff they bought, I think, a couple of years ago. I think there's a better ones they need to check out before they actually put it in. But the fact that is sometimes, as human beings, we are creatures of habit. I've always used that chemical. I've always done it this way. I've always done it, that way. And it's all hands. That's all gone now.
I've always done it that way. That means you got concrete in your skull. That's what
exactly.
So some comments here. Keith is more online stores was the plan this year, but more than ever now. Right? That's interesting. That's really good. David says, thinking like a startup, only staff for proven demand. Each role needs to be justified financially and specifically.
Very good.
I have one of my coaching clients. They've gamified their whole shop, and every order and everything they do is worth a certain number of points. And they can look ahead to determine how many points you're on the schedule. And all errors subtract the points. And so using the point system to figure out how many people he needs next week. And so that's an interesting way of looking at it.
I think too, a lot more.
What that guy means.
I'm not sure. That's a language I can't figure out if it's Spanish. I don't think. Or
we're going to skip over that, and we'll just pretend you weren't consulting us.
I
think English here.
I think also too, Marshall. What about cross training your employees? They may just in the printing. They just run the press. Do they know how to coat? Do they know how to expose?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be cross-trained and do it well.
Yeah. Well, my term for that I have is called the rule of three, which is every single critical core task, putting an order in, quoting, mixing ink, burning a screen, whatever. You need 3 competent people to know how to do it in a shop. And of course, I'm assuming there's more than 3 people that work there, right? We need to have 3 people. And the reason for is you have your primary person, but when they're out, like right now, do you have a backup? Right. And then what happens if both of those people are out? Right. There should be that third person. So it's that rule of 3. And in sports, there's a term for that. It's called bench strength.
Absolutely.
Right? So what's your bench like?
It's called depth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ron says, my customers are all over the map, not physically, but mentally. Goes from the world to ending to why aren't you open?
Yeah. And I think that just shows the state of mind of people. And I think Ron's attitude.
I wanted to be Ron Goodwin when I grew up.
You know what, John? Don't we all? I was going to say, but we need to set goals, but we got to set attainable goals. Come on. But I think on Ron's customers, that's where everybody's at. It can go from doom and gloom to everything is wonderful.
Right.
And, you got to love Ron Goodwin. If you've never met him, people at the show, look him up. Like you said, everything's good. The day is good. Let's just go.
Right.
And
here for good, right? That's great.
Yep.
Everything's good.
Yep, absolutely. So
all right.
I want to be Ron Goodwin. Yes, we do.
Okay, so let's close out today with this thought. All right, so this came from why am I all blurry all of a sudden? Hold on.
I do not know. Hi, everybody. Marshall's gone. Oh, wait, there he is.
What happened?
I don't know. I thought it was my glasses. I was going to clean them.
It just won't fix. Like, you know what? Maybe that's weird for a reason. They probably, you got a face for radio there, pal. So, all right, maybe it'll focus. Maybe I'll lean in a little bit. Is it better? Hey.
Yeah, it is better. Yeah,
I'll lean in. So this, how are you holding up? Tell me something good going on in your life right now. So yesterday with that thing I did with Lori, this is one of the things that she would like everybody to put out in their drip campaigns. So later today, if you subscribe to me, you're going to see this from me. I actually put this into my drip yesterday after the thing with Lori. And so what this is just reaching out to people with empathy. So this is an email. So if you've got a database of emails, right, her suggestion is to reach out to your fan base, your customer base, right? And it's going to say, how are you holding up? Tell me something good going on in your life right now, right? This totally aligns with Ron Goodwin, right?
definitely.
Right. So it's really about getting that engagement. It's not selling anything. It's not trying to market anything. It's just being a human. It's just being personable, right? And so if you're watching right now, take advantage of this idea and start sending emails. So I have an easy thing. I use an app called Zoho, and I've got my subscription people. When you go to my website, you download my free ebook, or you buy from me, or you subscribe because I have a little pop-up thing that comes up. All of that goes to this email list. And so I market through that, and that's how I build my drip marketing campaign, right? So right today, you're going to be getting this if you're in that, right? So if your shop doesn't have a database, you know what you have? You have all your customer lists. You can use MailChimp, you can use Zoho, you can use Constant Contact. There's plenty of them, right? You should be frequently sending stuff out to people with educational things a lot of times, But right now, let's just lead with empathy. Let's say, hey, how are you doing? How are you holding up? Tell me something good going on in your life, right? And see what type of responses that sparks, right? Yep. So that's the tip for today. I'm just reading some comments here.
I was looking at Daryl Garcia's.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So here's
OSHA would be getting involved in inspecting. The head of OSHA called me this morning and was telling me, no, just kidding. Like, I have no idea, Daryl, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think, go ahead, Marshall. I'm sorry.
I was going to say OSHA, by the way, loves spot inspections for the screen printing industry. And I know plenty of shops who've had the auditor walk in unannounced.
Absolutely.
And then start ticking things off, right? This. And then they're hit with thousands of dollars worth of fines. Yeah. Why is the reason? We use chemicals. We have a process. We have inherent danger in what we do, right? And so it's one of these things. You need to be ready anyway. SGIA, by the way, has a safety checklist. They have a whole process that you can do to help you prepare for this type of thing. So if you're worried about OSHA, I would be kind of thinking about that.
Yep.
And if you have procedures and plans and safety stuff in place, if OSHA gets involved and shows up, hey, it's okay. We're prepared.
I've had to do this with clients quite a bit, working in chemicals and reclaim on there. So OSHA's always involved. I'm not sure they're going to be involved any more or less, but I think what they look for is going to be a little different. So Here's what they always do for screen shops, and for your shop's a small one on the spot inspection. There's a couple things that they do. They're going to try to hit you. If you get hit on the easy stuff, they're going to keep digging and looking. You don't want that. Here's the first thing that they normally do. One, they're going to ask for your SDS sheets. Where are they at? How are they? They need to be in a binder, in order, in public view. It's called the Right to Know Act of Protection for your neighbors and everything. And so you need to have them in two places: a binder of all your SDS sheets in the front lobby and out in where employees can get them. Both places. They cannot be online. They cannot be in a drawer in your file. They have to be where anybody can go and see them. That's the first thing they ask for. And if you don't have those, you're marked and they're going to keep going forward. Screen printers, the next thing is any extension cords and stuff on your floor just running around, they will have a fit over. Clean that stuff up. And then you need a fireproof cabinet for things like adhesive and stuff. And if you have those, they're going to go, wow. They're probably going to go, okay, cool. And they're not going to really do that. Make sure you have masks. Now, in today's world, I'm guessing, I think when you walk in, you need to have like Greg Kitson had at Mind's Eye. Instructions for people coming in. Here's your hand sanitizer. Here's your wipes, everything like that. And I think now we're going to have procedures almost like the industrial company did. Do they need masks? Do you have one? Are you providing one? Do they need gloves? Things like that. And I think you start doing that, OSHA's going to go, okay, he's on top of it. And they're going to move on to somebody they can really hit with fines.
Yeah, and just to follow up what you said about OSHA, so I've worked for some really large companies, and I've been audited not by OSHA but by the clients, and I've gone through like probably 6 to 8 like Bureau Veritas or whatever audits coming in for safety and social compliance stuff. Here's the things that they also look for that Alan didn't mention. Okay, leaning pallets. Right, so you got stuff in, they need to be flat. If they're leaning against the wall, that is a hazard because that can fall on somebody. That's like an $85, $100 fine for every single pallet. So in your shop right now, if you've got 10 pallets, I mean that could be $1,000 right there, right?
Yep.
Also, slip hazards. Like, so this is the screen room, right? Do you have the safety mats? Do you have the paint with the sand in it so you can't slip? Or do you have the little pyramid thing for if there's a water on the floor, you know, you mop it up, but if the floor is still wet, that needs to go over there. So because we use pressure wash on concrete, you add a little water, it's instantly the slipperiest thing on the planet.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's like one of these things. What are you doing? They also want to know, do you have lockout, tag out? You got a forklift? Do you have machines? Do you have a squeegee cutter? Do you have these machines need to have a lockout, tag out program? Also, eye wash stations, right? You can get a lot of these supplies from Grainger or Uline or, you know, other places. If you have a forklift, is everybody forklift certified? Who is allowed to go on it? They also are going to do an audit where they'll pull all of your employees, they'll pick and completely at random, and they'll interview these people, and they'll ask them questions. And what they're looking for, all the answer is the same, right? Fire drills, tornado drills. They're going to look at your DART score, your 300 report, right? They're looking for the stuff to make sure you're doing what you need to be doing. And you can handle this by, guess what? A checklist, right? A checklist. Every quarter, have a safety audit where you have all of your stuff and just walk around and rate yourself. Do we have it? Do we not? Is pass or fail? And then the things that you aren't doing right, fix them, right?
I think also too, you know, all your employees need to know where all this stuff is. You can't assume that they know. When you have your SDS sheets, and they used to be called MSDS sheets, they're now called SDS sheets because they're more universal.
Yeah.
But when you have them, all your employees need to know where they are. And you can't just say, yeah, I showed it to them. Make sure they know, train them, document it, and have it there. All products that are hazardous, do they know how to use it? Have they been trained? And you have it documented on there. So you have that stuff for there. And when you say, here's my SDS sheets, here's my training file for all the employees, the OSHA guy's going to go, wow, they're on top of it. OSHA can be your best friend or your worst enemy. You choose.
Yeah. And then some other things I just thought about. Ladders need to be bungee cord down so they can't fall. If you've got big, because I used to buy in quantities, big drums of chemicals,
Yeah.
need to have the what do you call it, the ground wire to something, right? So they can't catch on fire. And then also your training. What I did is I did annual training. So we did safety, sustainability, and fire all in one day with groups of employees. We had a test. You had to get at least a C, or you had to go through the training again.
Yep.
And then when we have that, when the auditors come in, guess what? Everybody has the same answer when you've done the training. Okay, is it a pain in the butt? You bet your ass is a pain in the butt, right? But it's so necessary to have. So
yep, and it can be anybody. It's not just OSHA. You know, your fire marshal can walk in, and fire captain can walk in at any time too. So yeah.
So Monica says most states have free OSHA consulting. We took advantage of this, and now our shop is being used as a model shop.
Absolutely.
Documentation is everything with OSHA. And if I remember right, Monica, weren't you audited with a surprise inspection from OSHA? If I remember correctly, I think that's actually how we first met, is you reached out to me with the what do I do question.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. And then Daryl says, Marshall Allen, do you think we'll eventually have a standard guideline for workplace post-pandemic? A standard? I don't know. We can't even agree on testing or businesses to opening in this country. Will there be a standard? It won't be anytime soon. We can't agree on anything. I think we need to go, what would you do, and go one step further. Yeah.
On it for your company.
If you think about just keeping you and your employees safe. So Daryl, how are you keeping Daryl safe? How are you keeping Griselda safe? How are you keeping and customers who walk in safe?
Yeah,
those
absolutely.
are things you need to ask. Monica says, yeah. So I did remember correctly.
Yeah. Michael Wolbright asked on the STS sheets. It's STS, Safety Data Sheet.
Yeah, it used to be MSDS. They dropped the M because it was too complicated.
Well, and what it was is they made it because there was no real, it was a broad brush on how they had to be made. And so now there's a more global, universal way where it has to be certain sections and stuff. So it's now Safety Data Sheet.
Yeah, let me explain what I did. Is I took the most ubiquitous product in the floor, which was white ink. I got the STS sheet for it, and I blew up every single page for that. So it was gigantic. It was like 18 inches high, right? And we used that in training to point to where each section was.
Yep.
Right. And we had them available. They're like giant posters. We had training for each one. People got to ask questions on why it was relevant and that kind of stuff. And that really helps people understand how to read the STS sheet, because there are standards, but what you'll find if you've ever looked through them, they're all written kind of differently, right? But they're standards language, but what do they mean? We're not chemists, right? We don't understand this gigantic word that nobody can pronounce, right? But you need to kind of understand where to look for some things. You know, if you've ingested it, you breathe it in, you're pregnant, what does it mean to you, right? That's the reason we have this training.
Yeah.
So you start getting a skin rash, where do I go to look it up?
Yep,
right?
Exactly. And what the product is, you know, every STS sheet has their chemical name, and then there's a CAS number. That CAS number is universal. You can look it up. And it, so yeah, you need to know how, you don't have to be a chemist, but you need to know how to read them. That's something I do with clients every day. If anybody needs help, just email me. Let me know how I can help you out with that.
Yeah, Monica says, all it takes is an employee with a drug problem, and boom, and I like the little graphic there. You fire them, and they're called OSHA.
That's why be ready. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, don't. The lesson is, I guess, is be careful about firing people, right? Or better yet, hiring people. Right?
Hiring people, and then you got to document things if there's a past problem and stuff.
That's a whole other conversation, is how to get rid of people.
We kind of got off the question. I mean, I love this. I could talk this all day, but I want to know what's going good. OSHA can be a little depressing at times.
Yeah.
It's great information. Maybe next we're going to do OSHA. You know, I think the thing is, I don't know what's going to be, like you said, there's not going to be a standard, but I think create your own standard and make it high. Don't go, if we're looking at the bare minimum, don't do that.
Yeah. So we got a couple minutes left, and let's wrap up.
Yeah. So what's good? Tell us something good, people. What is happening that's good out there?
What's your answer to that question, Alan?
Oh, I've talked to some clients that are, one guy I talked to, he says, yeah, you know what? He's going to be bringing some people back, but it's just been him and someone else, one of his other guys printing. And he says, you know what? Their profitability has been good. He's really looking over his new business and he's real excited. That is great. I talked to a larger embroidery and screen company. He says they're not at full bore, but they got orders coming in. So I think things are starting to loosen up, and that means there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I love it.
That's good. And remember, everyone, this is an event. An event has the beginning, a middle, and the end. You could argue that we're still in the middle somewhere. I still see the hockey stick going up when I look at the news when I decide to do that, right? And based on the reporting, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get into a debate about that, but I don't feel like the end is tomorrow, right? But there will be an end.
Yep.
So what's good for me right now, and then we'll get to some comments, is I just started reading this book, Fix This Next, which is Mike Michalowicz, the author of Profit First, his new book. And one of the things that I think is really great is there is now a apparel decorator business book club on Facebook. I invited 700 million people to this the other day.
I got the invite.
So Allie Banholzer started it. She's got some things that she wants to do with it.
Love her.
She's a type A person, right? And so if you like to read, or maybe you do Audible, go there and you can find your next business book that you might want to read there. There's lots of recommendations. I put out my top 10 list of my favorite business books. They're not in any particular order. And there's my favorite books are in there, right? Which is, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willemick, right? Also making that list is 2 Second Lean, right?
Yeah.
Other things in there. So take a look at that and see if that's interesting to you. Maybe later I'll share the link here in the comments section. But it's a really great group, and I think it's going to get a lot of interest.
Yeah. On the books, Marshall got on me a little bit about Story Branding by Dollar Miller, and that was an inside joke. I actually ordered it over a month ago. Amazon has lost it, and they're going to be another month before I get it. So I've canceled the order. I'll order it right from Story Brand now. So that's it. But I have a couple other ones I'm going to order. So
I don't know why it's so blurry. I don't like it. But David says, having fun doing jobs used to delegate, art, design, direct customer contact is fun.
Good job.
We need to be having fun in our lives.
We need to.
Be positive. It's fun.
It's still a good day, right, Ron Goodwin? It's still a good day.
Kisa says schools are finally able to start ordering lots of screen printing jobs rolling in for the end of the year staff gifts. That's great. Ruben says nowadays you have to be able to listen to what the costumers, I guess customers want. We're actually doing inside tags on shirts, folding and even bagging the product in order to get sales in the shop. That's awesome. Awesome. Remember, get your money up front. No PO.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Ron says, I'm 3 days behind shipping masks, and I'm hanging with you guys. Fun Friday.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ron. Hey, happy to see we have a fellow procrastinator here.
Absolutely.
Right.
Man, good stuff. Great stuff going on.
All right. So I think that's pretty much going to do it. Let's share some information real quick.
Do it.
So if you need to get a hold of Alan, here's his email, and he promises that it's going to work now.
Yep.
Because
it has been
tech issues before with it.
We were having some tech issues, not the fault of EasyWay. We'll blame their IT company, who we won't get into. I have actually already told EasyWay I think they're bad humans, but that's okay.
So if you email Alan at this address and it's not working, okay,
yep.
Do this. Email me, and I'll tell Alan that it's not working.
He'll text me and go, and then I will call Easy Way again and say,
And
hey,
I'll make fun of them because I like doing that. And then also, Shirt Lab Summit, I want to give a shout out, is June the 1st through the 3rd. So it's a month away from today.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be on a Monday. So June 1st is a Monday. And what Shirt Lab Summit is going to be 3 days of content. It's 100% free. Day 1 is all about sales. Day 2 is all about marketing. Day 3 is operations. So you'll see Alan's video we did with him on day 3. It's going to be really awesome. I just finished building an event guide for it. We're also doing a lot of other things. We're wrapping up. We've got this incredible website that we're building. Tom and I are building this out. It's not quite ready for prime time, but it will be soon. You can go to shirtlabsummit.com right now and get on the sign up list. And as soon as it's ready, we'll be zapping you with a bunch of stuff. So please, if you haven't done it already, go to shirtlabsummit.com and get registered for the sign up thing. And we want to see you there. It's going to be really great.
Absolutely.
And so that's going to be about it for us. Thank you so much for watching.
Great stuff. Great stuff has been happening. I love what you guys are doing at Shirt Lab Summit. And Marshall, you and Tom, I'm honored to be part of it. A lot of people are doing that. So doing things like that. But man, Shirt Lab Summit's going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, we're trying to do something new and different. So it's going to be a little bit unlike what you've seen and other things. A lot of people are doing education. We're doing something a little different.
Yep.
And but we think it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's it. So thanks again, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Please reach out if you need any help or questions. We're here for you. That's it for me.
Thanks a lot, guys. Hey, remember, face mask, hand sanitizer. It's the next normal. Put it on the counter, and let's keep going. It's going to be a good day.
All right. Thanks.
Ron Goodwin, thanks a lot. Eric Campbell just commented, no comment on that procrastination. He'll comment later. He's procrastinating. So thanks a lot, everybody.
He's a very punny guy.
I love it. Hey, later on today, what time, Eric? The take up for embroidery. Eric does a great seminar.
I think it's at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, yeah. So check out Eric Campbell and his podcast coming up. Information Friday.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Check you later.